Hello, welcome. My name's Tony. Welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. We have the amazing Erwin. If you haven't watched before, he's been on the channel and he did 100 days of juice feasting. Yes, feasting, not fasting. Feasting an abundance of these incredible juices. Absolutely amazing journey. I have done, we did the interview, and I will put that in the description box. And you're currently on day 36 today, another juice cleanse. This is your second extended juice cleanse, isn't it?
It is, yes, it
Amazing.
is.
Can we do
Thank
a
you for
recap
having me.
of, because you've gone from a lot of, with the addictions, anxiety, burnout, overly stressed, and just things just weren't going, in the way you wanted things to go, and just a lot to deal with, and a lot, being, a father, and you're a full-time father, and yeah, busy times back when we last spoke. So you did 100 days. Can you just give me a little or give us all a backstory of just what led you to the 100-day juice cleanse, and then why you're now on this juice cleanse?
Yeah, my second one, of course. Thanks for having me at first, Tony. Always a pleasure talking with you. I did a 100-day juice fast because really my life was a mess. My body was a mess. My health was so bad. Um, I had a burnout. So I had two young children, 2 and 4, I think, at the moment. My relationship with my partner wasn't stable anymore. When I crashed, she told me that she didn't like me anymore. I had a bad trip because we went to a party together with this friend group and her family. And we're here in Holland. We then used some party drugs, and the situation was so bad that it really crashed me in 3 ways. So the relationship ended. I had the bad trip. I was very paranoia for 3 years. I think I developed a fear of um, uh, going to being in big crowds, I think. And I think it has something to do as well with the social anxiety, right? And I burned out. So mentally, emotionally, and physically, I was just a wreck for a few years. And I always, in my youth, had problems with my digestion, and I really noticed that I couldn't handle too much dairy. So I was lactose intolerant, but I didn't listen to it. I'm a highly sensitive guy. I didn't want to be highly sensitive, especially as a man, because no one of my friends was highly sensitive, right? So I think the bigger part of my life, I just neglected the sensitivity part, and I pushed it away, and I didn't want to be a sensitive guy. So I used alcohol and food to numb myself, right? And to suppress all the overstimulation. I really used that. And then later on the alcohol came, and then later on the party drugs came. So I numbed myself with all this, and then I didn't work on my inner troubles, right? I neglected my inner world, and then I had the relationship, and of course it was a perfect match then. But in later on long term, I noticed that it wasn't the right connection. It wasn't healthy. She was more, I was more the pleasing one, and she was more the narcissistic one. So that was the root to this relationship, and the relationship and the whole situation just got bad. And then I think I started the juice fast, the 100-day juice fast, around my burnout period, I think 6 years ago, because my digestion was so bad. I just had blown up tummy all day. I couldn't handle any food anymore, not only the lactose, but also meat or processed food. And then I used to go to my doctor, and he always described me antibiotics, but I read something about antibiotics that's a big part of the problem, right?
Hmm.
If you have digestive issues. So I was trying to eliminate some food, and then I think I eliminated first the lactose, then the processed food, then the meats and dairies, and then I only had fruits and vegetables left, right? And it really helped me. And then I came across Shane Sterling and his raw vegan adventure and the juice fast. So this all led me crashing to a really bad situation, and then I found him with the raw vegan message, and this really landed, this really connected with me. And then I knew, okay, if I want to solve my digestive problems, to start my healing journey, I have to do a juice fast. But I was so scared, and I was in such a bad situation that I tried once, but my mental stability wasn't there. So I freaked out in day 3, I think. It was too much. And then a year later, I came back and I researched more, and I was trying to eat raw vegan at the time. So I was transitioning to a raw vegan diet. And then after a year of that, I tried another juice fast. I was scared shitless as well, but I just did it. And then I had planned, I think, 40 days of juice fasting, because he said if you do a 40-day juice fast, then you can get rid of all the mucoid plaque. He told me about mucoid plaque, and it was so interesting for me. It was so alien to see. But deep down inside of me, I knew that this could be my problem as well. And then I started, and I was on day 40, and I released so much mucoid plaque every day. I released a string about 30 centimeters, a foot tall. My PR, my record is 2 feet long. One big, giant mucoid plaque string, right? And I was releasing them every day with the clay and the fiber, right? And then I decided, okay, I have to just push through, right? I just have to go through and further until I'm just emptying my whole bowels, right? But then I got to day 100, and my strategy wasn't perfect. So I think I drank not enough juices to get me enough energy. I was only drinking 1 quart of lemon ginger blast, and the rest of the day I was drinking pineapple juice or orange juice. But I was making them on the spot. So when I feel hungry, then I made a juice, and I had to go through all the juicing and the cleaning and the cutting, and it was just annoying at the end, around day 80, I think. So my energy crashed, and I had to stop. I decided to stop. I was very skinny, only 60 kilos. And then on day 100, I decided to stop and do the prune test, but I released a big mucoid plaque string on my last day. So I knew there's something left, even though I was releasing mucoid plaque for at least 88 days in a row. I knew I had to come back someday. And then I went raw vegan, and I thought in my mind, when I go really clean raw vegan 100%, then maybe the problem will solve itself as well. But it didn't. And this winter, I really got my problems back, my digestion issues, the bloating, the gas. So I knew, oh, God damn it, I have to go back into another juice fast. And I did 100 days, and it was amazing, but it was difficult and hard as well, especially with 2 little children, and my inner circle was a little bit skeptic and saw me losing weight, and they were all concerned about my health and blah blah blah, like the crab bucket effect. They were pulling me down, so I didn't feel enough support to push through, and I just stopped, went raw vegan, cleared up a lot of my mental, my physical, and my emotional problems that I had before as well. But this winter, I just decided, okay, I have to go back. Dude, in this spring, I think spring is a perfect time for juice fast. Before summer, right? And after the dark period of winter. And I just started 36 days ago, now my second juice fast. So day 10, I released a lot of mucoid plaque as well. And it's now day 36.
Wow.
Mucoid plaque coming out. So yesterday I made a calculation, 110 days in a row straight of releasing that mucoid plaque strings. It's bizarre. I'm totally full of that shit. I don't know what happened. I know what happened. It's the food, it's the alcohol, it's the antibiotics, the medication. But I can't believe that you can collect so much of it in one person, in one body, right? It's bizarre.
It's
So
so fascinating, because some people will be like, well, what is mucoid plaque? And some people don't even believe it, until you experience it or see others. And for those that don't know what mucoid plaque is, basically compacted waste that stays dormant. It's not it doesn't look the nicest, but once it comes out, and I know when we've released it, I feel so much better, because this is sticking into your intestinal walls. This is where all these parasites live and all of this. It's why we've got all of these issues. We're not absorbing, these nutrients, and we're not, some people say they're losing too much weight or they're gaining weight. It's because all of this is trapped. This is trapped in the bowels. So we need to release these biofilms, this mucoid plaque. And they've even done tests in colonics, hydrotherapy colonics. They've even said to me, they've tested their fecal matter, and it's been 10 years of rotting meat that was staying in their colon. It's interesting to see. And so you're releasing. So, I mean, just to backtrack a little bit. So you did the 100 days. How long ago was that?
2 years ago.
3 years ago. Wow.
No,
that's
2.
2. That's gone fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was my first. Yeah, I did mine 2 years ago. So yeah, first.
Yeah.
We did it about the same time.
Same time, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then you went 100. So since then you've been 100% raw. What's your diet looked like during this period? What have you been eating mostly?
So I started the day, I think I drank 2 or 3 big smoothies a day. I used to start the day with the lemon ginger blast, so big juice. But then I transitioned more to a higher fiber diet. So I think 2 or 3 smoothies with bananas, with dates, with leafy greens, right? The omega-3 fatty acids in flax and chia, some berries, some additions like superfoods, like green powders or spirulina like this. And I noticed that my body was really craving the smoothies because of the digestion issues. I think it was easier for me to digest smoothies, so I had to build up a little bit in the amount of fiber I could handle in one day. So the bloating and the gas really challenged me, but I had to push myself a little bit, but not too much, because otherwise my digestion would crash again. But it was 2 or 3 smoothies a day, and then a big salad at the end of the day. And I combined the salad. I first had a plate of fruits because I felt that I needed the carbs, the energy. And then so with 2, 3 bananas, some dates, some berries, some kiwi or seasonal fruits, right? And then a big salad. And I think in the course of 2 years, I could build up to, I think I was at the time 3,000 calories a day with 100 grams of fiber. And that's a lot, but I was still slim, right? Like you said, the mucoid plaque that was still inside of me was blocking the walls of my intestines, right? So I couldn't get all the nutrients out. I was eating 3,000 calories of only pure raw vegan fruits and veggies, right? But I couldn't extract the nutrients out of it enough. And so my hair turned gray, my skin wasn't great, my inflammation came back. So I knew then I had to come back, even though I was that clean. But what was really awesome about this second juice fast is that the first 10 days before I was releasing those big mucoid plaque strings, the first 10 days I just released, the first 2 days, I think, just regular stools, bowel movement. And then from day 2 to 10, it was really clear. So there wasn't too much garbage. I was reading my journal back from the first juice fast, and then I released so much weird texture, color, shape, smells of all kind of goo in the first 10 days. All the waste from maybe my liver or my kidneys, or I don't know what it was. And I didn't release it in my first day of my second juice fast. So that proved to me that eating a raw vegan diet is really just going through you like a brush and doesn't stick inside of your intestines or get inside of all those holes. It just goes through and then you get rid of it. So you extract, get rid of it, and repeat. And I think that was a big positive thing. And I learned so much from this second juice fast, even though I didn't want to do a juice fast. But I learned so much that the raw vegan diet is so much cleaner for your body if you have removed all the biofilm and the mucoid plaque, of course. But it really got me positive about the future. Oh, this is so now I can see in the second juice fast, I can compare the results, right? That a raw vegan diet is so much cleaner for your body, and it doesn't stick and it doesn't rot, like you said, like meat or grains, or doesn't irritate your body, or it was just so clean the first 10 days. So that's awesome to learn about the second juice fast, I think.
I love how it gets deeper because people think, oh, that's okay. They'll maybe go 3-4 days and they're like, oh, I'm really clean. This is amazing. And then all of a sudden, the body starts to rid more and more. And like you said, right up until 100 days, that's incredible that you were just still releasing. Do you have, like sort of like a date in mind that you'll stop, or are you just going to keep going? Are you going to just day by day?
Well, first I told myself I'm just going to do a 40-day juice fast. And then I told my inner circle that I'm going to do a 40-day juice fast to give them some peace of mind, I think, to just um, make them happy. But I knew in my back of my mind, I just have to go until there's nothing coming out of me. I just want to
Yeah.
get rid of the mucoid plaque for good now.
Yeah.
And I feel that I'm so much at a better place mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I did so much inner work. I did so much healing. I'm doing a Reiki. I don't know how you pronounce Reiki in English, but
Yeah.
did the first degree. I got my certificate yesterday, so I'm cleaning my chakras, my energetic system as well, and that really combines well with the juice fast. And so I said 40 days, but I'm just going to push now. I'm really doing great on the juices. I really feel awesome. I really feel uh, stable. In my first juice fast, I wasn't stable at all, and I had so much emotional disturbance going through me, and really high ups, but also really low downs. And I'm more stable right now. So I feel this second juice fast that I did so much work, inner work as well. Um, and that's awesome. So I'm just going to push now. I'm just going further. But my skin I had an inflammation as well this winter, and I see it is decreasing. It's getting lighter and lighter. So it really motivates me. And I feel, I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but if I check just my body signals and my intuition, that I feel that there isn't much left in him. I think I'm at 80% now, maybe even more. So there's maybe 20, 15, 10% left of the mucoid plaque, of the all old waste and all the garbage. But I don't know exactly how much days it has to take, right? And that's a little bit scary, and it's a little bit, I just have to get out of my mind. I just have to take it day by day, because when I focus too much, oh, I really want to happen it right now. Oh,
I
is
know.
this the moment? Then when you're sitting on the toilet, is this the moment that there's no mucoid plaque, only the fiber and the clay, right? And then I get disappointed when I see mucoid plaque again. But now I'm in this mindset, okay, I just go day by day. I'm really enjoying it. Like you said, I'm just feasting instead of fasting now. I'm really stable, and I just enjoy when I release the mucoid plaque, make a picture. I just even post it on social media right now for everybody to see those alien weird things growing inside of you, because I think that's so important for everybody to know that this is something real. And then I'm going to make my business out of it. I just want to help people with it. And I will see, Tony. I don't know. I just go
Yeah.
step by step.
Feeling, more the
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah. And I'll put the pictures on at the end of this. So if you do want to see, I know because some people get shocked by it and didn't want to see it, but if you do, people are curious, and it fascinates me, and it shows you it's real and what comes out and the length and the how it looks. I'll put all the pictures at the end of this call. So
Nice.
you was drinking in your first one, approx how many liters a
I
day?
think I think five,
Five
maybe
liters
six
a day.
some days. Yeah.
You've upped it this time. You're like up to 8
Yeah.
liters, saying to me. Wow.
Yeah. 8 liters now. Yeah.
And I can see how it can become, because even for me this time, because I was drinking like even 4-5 liters.
Mm.
When you're trying to do them as fresh, even though I work from home, I was like, I'll be fine. I'll just make them fresh. It can
Mm.
get tedious, and I want to make it
Yeah.
work. So for others, yeah, I mean, if you want to put that time in, but what I found was batching them, usually daily, or sometimes I'd make 2 days worth, and that really really worked for me and actually pushed me through, because I probably wouldn't have gone further than 20 days on this one. Actually, this one was recently, I just completed the 41 days, and I kind of was, I probably had more resistance. It's always emotional with me, not so much physical. And yeah, where did you know, how did you know the difference? How do you know, like, to increase? What was the shift?
I think I noticed that like Shane says in his protocol, you just have to push. So go as far as you feel you can go. And you don't want to be as long in this healing protocol, in this healing state as a juice fast. It is healthy for you. There's nothing wrong with it, but you just want to have it as short as possible. So push where you can push a little bit harder every day. And I felt that I was more stable, more healed, more in a great state to push a little more. So I noticed that in my first juice fast, I couldn't handle more than one lemon ginger blast. It was too hard for me. I get nauseous. I couldn't get it down my throat, right? My second lemon ginger blast of the day. So I drank one lemon ginger blast and then maybe 3 or 4 orange juices in my first juice fast. But now I feel so much stronger and more confident and more healthy. So I could push a little more. And now I batch it as well. So I make 2 big lemon ginger blasts. So that's 1.5 liter each. It really fills me up. And I noticed that I'm enjoying my juices now. I didn't enjoy, especially the last 50 days of my first juice fast. I couldn't enjoy the juices anymore. I couldn't handle the smell of citrus fruits for
Yeah.
months after this. But now I really enjoy them. So I feel cleaner, so I can push a little bit more. I drink 3 liters lemon ginger blast, one start of the day, and one around when my kids eat, right? So when I cook them a vegan dinner, I drink my second lemon ginger blast, 1.5 liters with them at the table. And throughout the day, and sometimes later that night, 8 or 9 o'clock p.m., I drink my orange juices, and I use a little more of the high quality oranges, so they are a little bit more citric. I don't like the more sweeter taste. So I this is how I push myself a little bit more. Higher quality, more juices, more astringent, I think, and I don't cut corners anymore. I just drank, I think, a watermelon juice in my first juice fast as a treat, as a dessert, right? At the end of the day of hard work, I allowed myself to drink a watermelon juice, but I don't do that anymore. I now don't crave it anymore. I just want to push a little harder, and I use the husk and clay. That's the word I was looking for. The husk and clay. I upped it a little bit as well. So I use
Okay.
two or three times 2 tablespoons of husk a day and 1 tablespoon of clay. So I push a little bit more, and I feel, because I think my intestines were used of the to the 100 grams of fibers, right? That they can handle a little bit more of the husk and clay right now. So I push a little bit more there as well, and it's super successful. And the protocol says that you have to cycle your husk and clay. So 1 day or 1 week husk and clay and then stop a week, but I just continue. And I did that
Okay.
at my first juice fast as well. So I think from day 50 to 100, I just drink a glass of 2 or 3 glasses of husk and clay every day,
Wow.
because I need the brush inside of my intestines to push the mucoid plaque out. It really helps me, and I can handle it. So this is where I push as well.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I've similar protocol to Shane's, but it is very intuitive. You can, especially your second time now, you've got
Yeah.
a lot more experience. You can see where you feel you want more and be guided.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you said you did a juice fest as well, right? You ended it last week.
Yeah. Last Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many days you did? 41, you said?
41. 41 days.
Nice. Is it a
Yeah.
PR record?
Yes, I wanted to at least. I was going to push my. I feel I'm going to come back and do an extended one. I feel there's more.
Okay.
I'm going to do 90. I want to go the whole distance. I have 90 days in my mind, and this one was potentially. I knew if I think about 50-50, I just know then it's not. Because if you have that in your mind, I just think you always. It's like when you use the word try. If you're going to try, it's not really happening. So
Mm,
I knew. I just knew I was doing 41 days, and it's so
okay.
funny how the universe just match that. If you decided to make the commitment, that's why you say commit. And I know my next one, I'm not going, and I'm not actually going to do it until I made that decision of 90 days. So I'll wait. This is my third one. It seems like I'm doing them every 2 years. So I did my first one. Well, yeah, was it 2 years? Yeah, so back in 2020. And then I did a shorter one for 30 days. And then, 41. I just wanted to beat my first one.
Nice.
But I needed to go the distance. I definitely know there's more stuff in there. And I didn't release as much as I did in my first one. But I started to get repulsed by the lemon ginger blast by year like 22, I think it was. I was just like, I really not enjoy, and I switched it. I dropped out. I was like, I'm doing fruit, just do citrus, pineapples mostly. So I know what I need to do. Push through it and just get the job done. But you know what? I didn't always want to be like a cereal juicer, but I think sometimes it just happens like that. Cereal juicy. I think it sometimes happens.
I think there's a place for cereal juicing.
Absolutely.
Because, like you said, it is detox is a bitch. It really is. And if you follow Shane, he just did a juice fast of 40 days, and then he got rid of all his mucoid plaque, right? But he was a vegan for 20 years, for example, before that. So I had a really, really, really total background. So I came from a different position, and my health situation was really different. So, like you said, it's intuition, it's personal, it's especially a divine timing as well. So you really have to work with your own path and your own guidance of your angels, your energy, your universe. I don't know how you call it, but when you get cleaner and cleaner, and when you do the inner work, you get closer to yourself. I think divine timing and following your own timeline is really important. And if being a serial juicer is the thing for you, then it's the thing for you, right? Maybe you just had to do 40 days. Maybe you had to learn something from that, or So don't compare. Don't be ashamed of not doing the 90 days. 41 days juicing is freaking awesome, right?
It's funny, isn't it? Because back in the day when you'd be like doing these little 3-day ones, even 1 day, like now I'm like, damn, why didn't I go the day? And you're like, 41 days is like back when I used to think like that is, wow, that people think you can die off 41 days. Like, I think no food. Like, I've had a couple of messages. It's like, yeah, I never thought you'd be still alive after just drinking juice. Like, it's opening up a lot of new mindsets for people, and that's why I love sharing. And I'm bringing like yourself on the channel to share that. You know, you might lose a lot of weight, which is necessary. So it might be weight loss, but the gains you get from it, and they look at your digestive system, and just better, just not even the physical, it's the emotional balance that you were just sharing, that you're much more balanced, and you do seem to deal with, you just connect better to your intuition, and it's like much more guided, and things are more present, so it makes you more calm and more can slow down, and you actually I noticed I'm able to tap into knowing what's right for me and not doing unnecessary things. So there's a lot of clarity that comes with doing these cleanses.
Yeah, I think that's a really awesome part of it. It's not only just getting rid of the toxins in your body. It's not only the physical detox, like you said. It's also a tool to get more spiritual. And what I really find fascinating is that I really connect again, like you said, with my body. Like I said, in my youth, I disconnected from my feeling, and I just went living in my head, right? So it was very mind focused, I think, my life, and that got me far because the whole society is structured around this method, right? And everybody's doing it, but in a longer period of time, I just noticed this isn't just the right strategy. I have to let go of the mass. I just have to go my own path, right? And doing a juice fast is a very, very nice tool, I think, to really find yourself. And like you said, people around you, your inner circle, maybe your family, your parents, your partner, your kids, your best friends, can't really understand what you're doing and are afraid and want to pull you back out of this strange and crazy idea, right? Of doing juice fast, not eating for 100 days. You're crazy, right? You're going to die. But I was thinking, I'm learning so much more about how the universe works, how your body works. It's so intelligent, it's so powerful, and we're just numbing it down. I think you only use 10% of the capacity you have in your body if you're just eating meat and dairy and suppressing your feelings with alcohol or party drugs or food, right? There's so much more, but we don't learn how to really shine and be our authentic self and really go 100% of the full potential, letting it free. And it's scary for us, and we really play small, right? And I think that's a big part of doing a juice fast. It's shedding all these layers and getting your mask off and showing yourself, and it's freaking scary, right? And everybody is saying something about it, so it's even more scary. All your fears, your traumatic situations get triggered. But if you go through it, and nobody does this, right? Real healing is just difficult because you have to address all the things you are neglecting or pushing away your whole life. So it's difficult. It's not only physical, it's also getting rid of all the trauma and all the limiting beliefs, right?
Yeah.
And all the emotional and the energetic blockages as well. But it will get you really close to who you can really be, your full potential. And that's something new, I think. I think majority of the people here in this society isn't working on this part of themselves, right? And you just play small. But I think it's necessary. We have to go this way. It's better for us, right, as a personal, as an individual, but also for me as well as a parent. I don't want to be the old version of me because this is what I'm going to teach my children, and I don't want to let them make the same mistakes, right? My kids are sensitive as well, so I want to learn them how to deal with it. I didn't learn it from my parents. My father is an alcoholic. He doesn't want to drink, doesn't want to feel, right? I don't learn this at school. How do you feel? No, it's all about mathematics. It's about language. It's about knowledge, right? It's not about feeling. So it's not only healing yourself, it's also a spiritual journey, but it's also, I think, for the better of the whole society or for us as humanity. If we all clean ourselves, be the best versions, just be the powerful warrior, just show yourself, right? And then um, spread the word and help other people like you're doing with your awesome community, right? 70,000 people in your Facebook group, you said?
Yeah,
Freaking awesome.
78,000 of us.
Awesome.
78,000 of
Right?
us. It's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're spreading the word as well. So the healing, even if you only did 40 days of juice fasting when your goal was 90, it's such a nice example for all those 70,000 people who are watching you. Wow, okay, Tony can do a 41-day juice fast. I'm going to try this as well. Even if you're not totally cleaned out of the mucoid plaque, you can be very strict. You're an example, you're doing it, right? And I think this movement is so important to start and just push through all the fears and all the old shit we are holding on to.
And it just
Literally.
doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. We still are forever shedding. I always like to call it like we crack open, we unlock this potential, and
Nice.
then we start to rewrite all these programs. It's so much, like you said, it's so much more than just what we experience physically. And this is only one aspect of this lifestyle, and everyone is on their own journey of that. And it can look different for everyone. And we all can say this can, we can fast track, by doing a cleanse. These cleanses can certainly fast track, your results, and especially if you've got certain ailments and a lot of struggles. But you know what? I did raw until dinner for a long time, for 6 years before going fully raw. And I never wanted to be fully raw. That for me was I enjoyed my cooked meal. And then just the more I learned about the lifestyle, the more I just shifted to switch some things. I was just like, going raw is quite easy, and I was having more raw days, and then I just felt better, and I noticed the difference and comparing, and you just become your own intuitive guide. It's like you start to get the downloads and you just see more clearly, and that's where you get guided. So if you're in this path already, I feel like even if a juice cleanse right now isn't for somebody, you know, it can come into their lives at any time, and it's
Yeah.
definitely worth doing. I encourage it. I encourage it for everyone to do it. So it depends on where you're at. Like you were saying with your you wasn't there mentally. Same with me, pushing through. There's just times, and if you can really be in tune with that, then it makes the whole process much more enjoyable rather than I can't do it and beating ourselves up, because we are a nation of instant gratification. We want things right now. You know, even I still see it in myself, but it's the delay that just, okay, this is accepting of. There's times when we push and there's things that we discipline and commitment, but there are times when if there's a lot of resistance, a lot of pain there, why are we doing that? And it's that's why the coaching, the mentorship, that's why you're offering that, I'm offering that. For me, I'm always investing in myself in mentorship and learning, so that we're not doing this on our own, and that we are being guided with some support and help. Because yeah, we've still got those blocks there. We've still got the ego working, you know, they'll never go. It's about managing it. And you just get deeper on this path of this self-discovery, knowing then we are truly divinely guided. And all we have to do is just trust, surrender and trust. That's always my big motto all the time. Always reminding myself, okay, didn't go where I wanted to go. Certain things didn't go my way in my day or whatever. I just allow now. It's about that compound effect, and this is something I stress a lot: the compound effect of just doing that little and often, just getting better each day, just thinking, just doing a little bit more that'll serve us, that are much more guided by the heart. And that's where we look at that cracking and the unlocking, and really starting to break free of those chains and show what people what's possible. Like, yeah, when you're keeping in those stuck cycles, it just holds us back. We don't see what we're truly capable of. And that's where I love seeing when you start to see the crack, and you just sometimes just take something so small, like listening to you, just even for me, I just get these little nuggets of like wisdom, and something shifts and I get goose pimples, and I'm like, wow, this gives me empowerment rather than this, I can't do it, I can't do something, I'm not good enough, you know, all of these self-limiting beliefs that we're not that, you know. It's so I'm so glad that you're sharing all of like what you're going, like you came back in, and because I hadn't seen you for a while, and it's lovely to see you back, you know, sharing. And so where are you going now with your, just backtrack a little bit. So your lifestyle with the juicing, because people are always asking me, like, how do you make it work around a busy life? Because you've got kids, you know, full-time dad, and you're working, and you're sharing a big message. How do you make that work for you? And let's look at it more on the juicing. So right now you're in the juice cleanse. How do you make it work? So like you've already given us some practical tips of batching. You know, I do some. Don't, you know, you can only do your best. If you want to make it work, we've got to do certain things that, yeah, fresh is best, but let's go on batching if you are busy. How do you make it work for you? So you batching? And yeah, you said you was batching, yeah.
So for example, this morning I woke up at 6 a.m. So I'm a morning person. I always wake up at 6 o'clock. My kids wake up at around 7. So I have 1 hour for myself, and usually I meditate, I do some Reiki, some journaling, maybe, depends on the day. But most of the time I'm just doing some clearing my mind, getting in the right mindset before the hectic day starts. That's really important, because when I wake up at the same time with my kids, then it's hectic from the start, and that's not good for me, because I stay in this hectic state and then it affects my day. So I have to start my day early. I go to bed around the same time as they do, between I think maybe an hour later, 9 o'clock, right, in the evening. So my energy is highest, it always was, in the morning. So I start my day, but today I knew I had to bring the kids to school, so that's always hectic from 7 to 8:30, right? Come back 8:45, and then I knew I had to start this call with you, and I had to set up the camera. Didn't work, so I didn't. I knew I didn't have time to make my juices before I wanted to sit with you, but I don't want to drink now, or I don't want to start with the juicing now. So this morning I didn't meditate. I batched the 3 liters of lemon ginger blast before the kids wake up. I drink one when I brought them to school. So I had my alone time. I think I had some juices to go. I drank one. I had some the clay, husk and clay. I brought the kids to school, and now I'm sitting here with you, well prepared, well balanced, fully engaged with you, because I have my lemon ginger blast, and I know there's one for dinner tonight. So when I have to cook for my kids vegan meal tonight, I know I don't have to work on my own salad, for example. That's so easy about doing the juice fast and batching. So tonight I just grab the lemon ginger blast out of the fridge, cook them then their dinner, and then sit around the table. And I think after this, I'm going to make a batch of orange juice. So my 4 liters, maybe 5 for today, right? Put them in the fridge, and then don't have to think about my juices anymore. So when it's hectic, when I pick up the kids from school, when we have to go to bed late, and there's always something going on, especially when you have two, highly sensitive kids, right? There's always something going on. I don't have to worry about my juices anymore. And I think when I'm just eating raw vegan again, it's a little bit more hectic when we're going to dinner, because then I have to cook them dinner meal, and then I make my own salad. So we don't eat perfectly the same thing. That's a little bit more difficult, but a smoothie is made in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, but what I think the biggest thing for me is, like you said, you do one thing step at a time. I'm working on this lifestyle now for a few years. I started my own business at the beginning of 2020, so that's more than 2 years ago. Because I'm highly sensitive. I was a teacher at a primary school. I had 30 kids around me whole day. I was overstimulated every freaking day for years of my life. And then it built up and built up. I got my 2 kids and I crashed because it was too much for me. And then I had a burnout, had to rebuild again. And then I noticed that I couldn't go to my old job again. I couldn't go to that busy classroom full of kids and stimulation. So I had to change career. In the same time, my burnout was still a big part of my life. My relationship was shaking. But I knew I had to do something. I knew I had to change because it wasn't working for me, right? I'm highly sensitive. I'm acknowledging it now around my burnout. This is a big problem. I have to be myself. So I have to give myself what I need. And I think I made the change to being a coach. So I did the same job helping kids at school, but then one-on-one or with the teachers, right, in smaller groups. And that really worked for me because didn't get overstimulated as much as I did. But then after 2 or 3 years, I noticed that I wasn't going to the level of health and stress-free as I needed. I wanted to give myself more freedom, more space in my week to plan, or day to plan it how it's working for me. So I started my own business, and it was freaking scary, and it's not profitable fully yet. So there is a bit of money stress sometimes. But I feel that, like now, I don't have anything on my agenda. I have a client to this afternoon at 4 o'clock, right? And between that, I can plan how I want. I have 9 clients now every week. I'm my offline business, so I'm going to those schools, teach those kids. I make enough money in 1 hour, in 9 hours a week.
Wow.
It's more than enough to pay my bills.
Yeah.
It's even more than I made when I was teaching kids 5 days a week. So I think a big part of my success now is just really arrange or create my world how it's working for me. I am going to crash if I go to work for a boss for 5 days a week. And my mother hasn't worked for herself. She didn't even buy a house. So my father and my mother, they're divorced, don't have a lot of money. They never bought a house, so they always rented. They were always working for a boss. My father didn't like his job. My mother did. She developed a little bit more. So my mindset isn't the mindset of an entrepreneur, not at all. So I have to struggle. I have to learn. But I feel it's like the juices. It's the way for me to go. I want money freedom. I want location freedom. I want time freedom. The money freedom isn't there yet, totally, but the time freedom is. I can sit here Wednesday, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m., right? Sitting here,
Yeah.
have a conversation, going to work on my webinar. I did a Reiki course yesterday. Sometimes I work, I give a presentation at a school to find some new clients, right? So it's more, what do I need today? What can I do? How's my energy level? Can I do a little bit more, or do I have to relax? And that's difficult for me because I still have the mindset, go, go, go. If I work
Yeah.
hard enough, if I push 100%, maybe 120%, I get 120% out of it. But I really learned in my life that it
Okay.
doesn't work like this.
No.
So I'm working more with the 80-20 rule, right? Don't go push yourself too much, relax. Like you said, trust the universe, trust the timeline. And that's working well for me, but that's also a big transition for me. So it's not perfect yet, but I'm working on it 2.5 years now, step by step. And I think this is really helping me because when I have a day off, I just uh, replace my agenda to the next day. And that's really what I need as a highly sensitive person. And I really see that with my son as well. My son is at home. He really was crying this morning. Next week they have vacation, but he was crying, and I saw that he was so tired, and it was too much to go to school today. So I'm very um, easy, I think, with this. If you don't feel right, if you're crying to go to school, you don't have to go. And
Yeah.
they get a card from me. They 2 or 3 or 4 maybe a year, and he said, I want to use my card to stay at home today. And he did, and that's okay for me. Then I learned them as well. It's important to do it like you have to do it. And maybe your friends
Yeah.
say something about it, or your teacher. Fuck them all. This is you. This is what you need. Tomorrow you'll be shining it again, and that's how
Yeah.
you go on the long run. Your level, you keep on shining only if you take breaks enough, only if you do it exactly how it works for your energy system.
Not rushing
No.
it. Yeah.
So I think that's how I do it.
Yeah.
How I want to do it, and I think that's important for everybody. But
Yeah.
you have to
Why
do
does it
it.
have to be in that system? Why are we told, well, this is what you should do? This is where, yeah, even this highly sensitive person, I feel just sometimes I'm the same, you just don't fit in that box. That's not the box for you. And that's
Right.
what we're conditioned to be and do that. And that's not the only way. And that's where the resistance coming in. But when we realize the power we have, we're shown the way, and there will be less resistance, and we're still fighting that old paradigm. How old are your children, by the way, now?
My daughter is 11 and my son is 8.
Oh wow, yeah, you
Yeah.
got an interesting age there.
Yeah, and my daughter really struggled this year because she developed a fear of going into the classroom when all the kids are watching her. She's
Yeah,
so sensitive as well, and she has a very big and open aura. So she really, when she enters the class, she really just feels all the energy. And it's a topic you can't talk about with the teacher, right?
no, that was
Energy,
me. That was always me at school, but I
right?
didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't
So
like
the
it.
the bigger groups and all the energy and all the emotions, it's way too much for her. So
Yeah,
she almost crashed the year and didn't go to school anymore. And this is exactly what I help all the kids at the primary school or the older kids with. When you're so sensitive that you don't fit in that box, we as a society are used to, if you are a square, a cube, right? Society is so used to chopping
awesome.
off all your corners, right? So that you become a circle as well, and then you can fit in the circle peg, right, or the peg circle hole. Um, and I see that all the time, and my heart breaks because it's your story, it's my story, it's the story of my kids. If you are a square, you need to fit in this square hole, right? And even though there isn't a square hole, we're gonna find it, we're gonna create it. This is what you need. Even though whole society, your teacher, I don't know who says, your boss, you have to be there in this time, you have to stay 5 days. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I see so many young children, my daughter from 11, but also other kids from that age or teenagers who are burned out already because the pressure of this society is
Yeah,
so freaking crazy.
yeah. And I see the shift now. People are starting to acknowledge, not in the rate we sometimes clearly see, but it's happening. And amazing that you've got yourself in these organizations that can help shift that. That's incredible
Yeah.
what you're doing. Rewarding.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, it's not something you shift in a few weeks. We all want it to be short and go on with our life, right? But really healing and finding your path and also your life purpose, I think, is just a slow process. It's not going to happen in a few weeks and not even in a few months and maybe not even in a few years. So take your time. It's all okay. Every step in the right way is a good step, right? And there are so many beautiful opportunities, and most of the time you have to shed your old skin, right? And maybe you have to let go some friends or maybe family members, or especially your diet, or don't follow the mass and go your own way. And I think a lot of people find that very stressful
Yeah.
because the whole society is so pressuring that they want you to stay here and be the same person. But it's so important to let go and go your own way and shed that old life and that old person you was, and maybe the old friends and family members as well. And that's difficult. I think that's most of the difficult part of the job. But like you said, that's why it's also important if you go to raw vegan lifestyle, for example, that you don't only do it for yourself, but also for your next generation and also for other people as well. Because like me, I was afraid to share the big strings, the pictures about my mucoid plaque. I didn't want to show him because it's gross, right? But when I did, there came so much confirmation that everybody was curious and they want to know
Yeah. Yeah.
and they deserve to know, right?
Yeah.
And we're keeping everybody sick with the diet and the news, right? It's so negative. It's so damaging for the whole system. And I think that's why this journey is also important, not only for yourself, but also for other people around you. So you have to step up. It's not only good for yourself, but it's also an opportunity to make an impact, right?
Yeah. It's needed. It's so
It's
needed
needed,
right
really,
now.
yeah.
And yeah, I have a quote on here about from Carl Cease. I have it on my board. I have it
Nice.
actually all over, but it says, "Our mind can only measure what we will lose, but you can't measure what you will gain." For
Mm,
me, that is, I love, like, we're always holding on because we think we're going to lose something, but in fact,
yeah.
like when we lose this waste, this newfound energy comes, this new, you see things, like I say, with these different, like you start attracting opportunities, guidance, the right, just the more in tuned alignment of thoughts. And yeah, it's like when one door closes, more open. I love
Yeah.
that now, that trusting feeling of just knowing that, you know what, if something wasn't meant to be, what meant to be, I'll put in the energy. That if I let go of all that control, which isn't always easy. But yeah, we've talked a lot on this call, so thank you. And yeah, we'll probably get you back on as well because we'll probably got a lot of
Nice.
questions. So I'll create a post. But if you do have any questions, do answer in pop them in the comments. Ask them, not answer them. Ask them, and we can get you back on. And I think we did that before. I'm not too sure, but we definitely will on this one.
I'm
So
really looking forward to it. Tony, thanks for your
yeah,
time and awesome conversation. Had a lot
where
of
do they
fun.
where do they find you though? If they want to reach out, get some support.
Yeah, I feel that I'm on a mission to do it in Dutch. I was insecure
Ah,
about my English. When I'm talking right now, it just comes out, and I don't worry about being perfect anymore. But um, I don't know. I feel that I have a mission to do it in Dutch and to really put it here on the map in Holland because it's very new here. And you have, of course, you and some people here in the English um, community that are doing their version of raw vegan. And I feel that have my kids here. I want to include them in the process, and I have my whole life here in Holland as well. And I feel that I want to do it in Dutch. And maybe that's not the right way, but I feel that's my calling. So you can
Yeah.
find me on my Instagram and on YouTube. I'm sharing my story, and I will share a video, a vlog, when I will share my Mucoid Plaque string. So if you're interested in this, you can watch it, but there's no translation. So if you're watching this in English, that's too bad. You have to wait before I come back here on Tony's channel.
Yeah.
But I will share this, and you can find me.
Amazing. I'll put all that in the description box as well.
Nice.
So we always end with the be, feel, and stay rolicious at the end of our call. So could you end that with me? I'd be
Of course.
so blessed. Thank you. So we say be, feel, stay rolicious. Gotta do that again.
Okay.
Let's right after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Be, feel, and
stay
stay
rolicious.
rolicious.
You can do a little kiss.
Love you guys. Love you, Tony.